Defending can suck in FC24, so your centre-backs can be really important to help you see out games, like they have in all FIFAs, but in FC24, having the right centre-backs is crucial. So today, I'm going to show you my personal favourite choices of centre-backs that are under 100,000 coins. Now, obviously, bear in mind, this is filmed right at the start of the game. This is, the game's been out for like 3-4 weeks, so there's going to be other cards that will come out later down the line that could potentially make their way onto this list. There could also be cards that are at the moment over 100,000 coins, but they drop below 100k when the game's been out for a prolonged period of time. But at the time of the recording, these are my favorite personal 11 cards with a couple of sort of bonus added players in there for just missed out. So without further ado, let's get into our list. If you find this video helpful, hit that like button. If you're new, hit the sub button. Let's get into it. So we're going to start off with Schlotterbeck. He is about 1.4k roughly on both consoles and super cheap to pick up. This guy really is a very viable card. Just a nice bit of pace. The agility and balance isn't amazing, but it's not a huge problem. I haven't really had it as a big problem for myself personally, but a real viable card. Very good in the air, real solid at the back, and he's been a beast in a lot of FIFAs, and FC24 is no different. Also just missing out, and somebody I've actually used quite a bit is Sula. Now, for me, 34 agility, 44 balance. You see that and you think, get in a bin. Terrible. A pace split of 23. No thank you. But I promise you, this guy's been really good. The 64 stamina for me is honestly the only thing that really I find impacts his card. Outside of that, genuinely, I don't find problems with this guy. He's actually really solid, and I do highly recommend trying him out. He's currently sat at 1.2k on the market, so I think probably either the cheapest or joint cheapest on this list technically. But he's real good. A real good benefit to him is that slide tackle plus. He's so good with his slide tackles, and it does make a big difference. And having that bruiser playstyle, I find it really helps him shrug people off the ball and anticipate as well. Just helps him keep hold of the ball with tackling and stuff. There's a couple of players on this list that have it, and anticipate is a real good bonus and play style to have. But Sula, honestly, don't let those stats deter you. I would say you needed like a centre back on the bench as well to bring on at like the 60th, 70th minute mark, just because 64 stamina isn't great, but he's a beefy boy and he's very good. Up next, we're going to look at Koulibaly. The main reason he's sort of not in my main list is purely because Saudi League, although there's some good options, they're not the easiest to link to. He's very similar to Sula. I'd say honestly Sula's a little bit better, but again, you look at the agility and balance, you look at the pace split, you look at the stamina, and none of them really indicate he'd be a good card. But genuinely, he's very good. And it's sitting at 1.4. Again, these first three cards, don't let their stats kind of deter you. If you're in a real budget, Sula Schlotterbeck, great, perfect link together. And Koulibaly, if you're running a bit of a Saudi deal, is also going to do you the business. Alaba is up next, the most expensive player so far, 27-ish thousand coins, and a super versatile player. Really good. Really enjoyed his card. The height is the only real thing. 5'11" for a centre-backs, a little bit short. It does again have that anticipate playstyle, which is pretty beneficial, I find. But Alaba for me is a real good all-rounder. Obviously Real Madrid and just being in La Liga gives some real nice links and really easy to get some chemistry and stuff on despite the nation, but real good card. Up next, again, height being the only issue, Mappy Leon. She sat at about 30,000 coins, 5'7", so is not very tall. High work rate I didn't find an issue. I've used her in 2 drafts, and in both drafts she was pretty good. I also got Putellas in both those drafts as well, so she's obviously a great link to arguably one of the best midfielders in the game. But yeah, really solid card. I think she can also, oh no, I thought she could play CDM, but she can't. My apologies, I nearly lied to you. But great pace. The defending, 90 defending is absolutely fantastic. Has anticipate plus, which is even better, and has every defending playstyle apart from Bruiser. Literally has every single one. Jockey is also great because it means that they do sprint that little bit quicker while jockeying, which is quite helpful. Block, again, really nice. Just a nice little AI sort of additional thing. And also, I think it also works when you're using them manually, but it basically means that they can stretch that bit further when you're trying to put a block in. Intercept, again, just nice ball possession and retaining possession back, I should say. The Anticipate Plus is just perfect. It's what, for me, in a defender, it's probably one of my favorite playstyles to have is Anticipate Plus. Just makes them super busy. So again, if you're willing to just accept that she is a little bit shorter, probably want to pair her with a tall boy, then Mappy Leon is definitely a good choice for you. Then we're going to look at this UCL Road to the Knockouts Pepe. Now, there aren't many special cards on this list because there aren't many special cards at the time of recording. But he's a real good card. He's sat at 17,500 coins in the market right now. And again, the agility and balance, despite being low, I don't find them a problem at all. He really does do a great job. The pace split is not bad at all. Great physicality, solid defending. Kind of does sit perfectly with a hunter. Don't put a hunter on him. Put a shadow on him is what I meant. Gets a nice pace boost and just boosts those defending stats nicely as well. And again, some good play styles rocking on him as well. Again, anticipate for me is pretty important. Plus, could obviously go up if Porto make it through. So you could be looking at an 86 rated version of this card, which just makes him even better. The last player on our list of like just missing out on my 11 is Darmian. Now, he is a free card. At the time of recording, I think he's expiring today. So at the time this video is going out. So if you did Darmian, this is very helpful for you. But this is why I didn't put him in the first 11 because obviously people potentially seeing this down the line. If you didn't do him, you're not going to have him. But just very, very briefly on his card, super, super viable. The strength isn't that amazing, and it is a small stinker on his card. So I would personally say you want to go with an anchor just to get the strength up a little bit, but great stamina, great defending stats overall. The agility and balance also fantastic. Decent pace with a not too bad split as well. Obviously, again, could go up to an 87, which is nice and helpful for making this card even better. Does sadly only have the jockey playstyle, but it's not the end of the world. I don't find it a big problem for him. Can play out on the right hand side, but not right back, only right wing back. And if you're playing 5 at the back, you need to take a long hard look at yourself, let's be honest. So without all of that, let's go into our starting 11. These are in no particular order. I'll be honest with you, the 2 centre backs I've left at the end are my personal favourite in the fact that that's the duo I run at the moment. But this isn't like a 1 to 11 like my goalkeeper one was, which if you haven't checked out, go and check it out. But let's get into the starting, my personal top 11. We're going to start off in the League 1, and we're looking at Informed Todibo, sat at 14,000 coins. And this guy's a real nice card. I would honestly say in League 1, there aren't many great centre-backs. I know Kimpembe sat at like 30k, but I've not got him on this list because I just didn't enjoy him. I really don't think he's that great this year. It could be a skill issue. There's a very high chance that it is. But I just didn't enjoy Kimpembe much this year so far. But Todibo I think is really good. And for 14k, I would say he's a better pickup than Kimpembe personally. Agility and balance, again, a touch low, but I haven't really found it be a problem. The acceleration and sprint speed split isn't ideal, but again, haven't really found it a problem. But good defensive stats, good physicality, and for 14k it's not bad. Does have a nice block boost to him as well, and the long ball pass, which having those like long through balls, playing those out to your wingers and stuff, which I do quite a lot, like flip it out to the wingers, is quite viable and quite good to have that on a centre back just in case you need to get it out nice and quickly or you see a good chance for a counter. So he's one of my 2 choices for League 1. The second is Marquinhos, sat at 42,000 coins. I think the stats kind of say everything I need to. Really good looking card. Great pace with a good split. Nice agility and balance for a centre-back as well, with some good composure, which is quite nice to have in a centre-back. Great defending, fantastic physicality, but also does have anticipate, and he has the playstyle plus on intercept, which is fantastic. Again, just has a better chance of keeping the ball when you make an interception, which is nice. It doesn't ping off his feet. Real good. Good physicality set of aerial as well, so nice in the air, good on corners and set pieces and stuff, both in attack and defense. So I do highly recommend him, and has the power header shot thing as well, which is good. But Marquinhos, I think, is probably my favorite centre-back in the League 1. But sadly, not too many. We're now going to jump over to the Serie A. We're going to look at Bremer. Now, this isn't a card that I've used, but it's a card I come up against a lot, and he's a pain. He's a real good card. He's 6'2", so relatively tall, lengthy play style, run style as well, which is quite nice. Acceleration and sprint speed, my general rule of thumb is 5, is like within 5 of each other. It's great. It's 6, so it's not far off that anyway, and it's quite good regardless. Good agility and balance for a centre back, and some great defending stats. Stamina 76 seems a touch low. Maybe later on in the game it might seem like it. It might be a problem sort of nearer the end of the game cycle, but I doubt you're using Gold Bremer at that point anyway. This is sort of looking at the early doors. Sadly, no playstyle plus. Does have Bruiser though. Again, good in the air, and again has block, so not bad at all. My personal favourite choice in the Serie A is Tomori. This guy is a beast, absolute unit, sitting at about 68,000 coins at the time of recording. Great stats. 86 pace on him is mental, just absolutely insane, along with 86 defending. Agility and balance for a centre-back is through the roof. Again, good composure, good reactions, great physicality stats. Playstyles, sadly, only has block, which is a small shame. I do genuinely think that playstyles are just as, if not maybe slightly more important than actual stats on cards for quite a lot of things this year. But I do think Tomori's stats do make up for a lack of playstyles. He really is very good, and I highly recommend checking him out. If you're running either English or Serie A capabilities, great choice. Okay, now we're going to go to the Bundesliga. Again, only 2 choices here for me, and the first is Hincapié. I've probably said that wrong. This guy's really good. His stats kind of honestly look good enough to play fullback, which sadly he can't do. But as a centre-back, this guy is mental. At the moment, he's sat at 40,000 coins. Bear in mind that they could go through and get some boost, which means he could go up to an 86, I believe, because the first time he'd be boosted to an 85, and then he'd go up to an 86. I believe so, yeah, because it's one inform upgrade, so he should go to an 85 and then an 86. So you're looking at a potential +3, and with how Bayer Leverkusen are playing under Xabi Alonso, I think there's a good chance this card gets it. I think this is a real nice looking card. Really good stats. I've enjoyed using him the very limited times that I have, but he's so good. Pace is through the roof. The agility and balance and general dribbling stats are just fantastic. Also great passing, which is worth noting. I believe he's also left-footed. He is, which is pretty nice indeed. But yeah, sadly, I haven't got my game stats on him because I packed him tradable and then packed him untradeable, so I sold my tradable version. But he really is our mate, honestly. He was scoring goals from corners galore, and I don't think he's got that. He hasn't got any of the heading play styles, but he's just very good in the air. He really is. Also has slide tackle, which is nice, but the pace just means he keeps up with defenders. Great defending, great physicality, fantastic card. The only other choice I've got for the Bundesliga is Kim Min-jae. This guy, for I think he's about 8k, yeah, he's 8,000 coins, is criminally cheap. I really do think he's so good, and I highly recommend using him to a lot of people. Again, at the time of recording, Heung-min Son, his player of the month has just come out today, so a nice link obviously for the Korean link to potentially go into some hybrids and stuff. But yeah, real viable card, and for 8k, an absolute steal. There's other cards that are good like him. De Ligt is not bad, but just the pace that Kim Min-jae has just makes him that bit better. Nice agility balance, great defense and physicality stats. Playstyles, again, really good in the air. Has got the intercept and the slide tackle, which work quite well together in my opinion. But yeah, those playstyles being very important, and Kim Min-jae does it pretty good. But our last bunch of cards here, I've actually got 2 from the Liga Santander and I've got 3 from the Prem. Now, the Liga Santander, there's a bunch of options you could run with. For me, a lot of the best options are over 100k, but these 2 are the best options under 100k, but it's not much under 100k. We're going to start off with Rudiger, who's at 73,000 coins at the time of recording. The pace split is a little bit stinky, 20, but he's very quick. Like, the sprint speed is fantastic. Once he gets to that full speed, he's absolutely catching people. I find he's super viable if they're on like a breakaway, say you're on like the halfway line. By the time that player gets to the box, Rudiger's catching him. He's so quick, and I do not like playing against him. He's very good. Great defending stats, good physicality. Again, 70 stamina, you could argue is a touch low. At this point in the game, 70 stamina is fine. I would say that kind of is the minimum you're wanting on your centre backs. Anything less than 70, and you kind of probably need somebody to come on off the bench for them at some point. But yeah, real good card. Again, I don't notice agility and balance being an issue for him in previous FIFAs. That would be far too low, but in this, it's more than good enough. It's also very worth noting, he's only got block and then playstyle plus on the aerial playstyle, which means he's great in the air, fantastic at defending corners. The amount of time, if I see a Rudiger in the box, I tend to play corners short if I'm attacking against a Rudiger, because he just wins pretty much everything in the air. And he's only 6'3", and I say only, there's a lot of players taller than 6'3". He just wins everything in the air. Very good. Super helpful for defending corners. But alongside him that I often come up against is Araujo. Now, he's sat at, again, 73,000 coins. And I would say it's quite a close toss-up as to who I prefer between the two of them. I think they're both very viable. Araujo has way more play styles. And for me personally, I would say Araujo's play styles just tip it over for me, that I would say Araujo's the better of the two. but Rudiger has specific things he's better at. Like in the air, no contest, 100% I'm saying Rudiger. But Araujo, super viable. Again, great defending stats, great physicality, real nice pace. The split's a bit smelly, but I don't notice it as a problem. He's definitely slower than Rudiger. It's worth noting that on that sprint from the halfway line, Rudiger's catching up. Araujo will get there eventually. But yeah, I have to say, I think two very good players. It's just there are so many good options in the Santander. They're just really expensive. Otherwise, this list would be very Santander heavy. You know, the likes of Eder Militao, Koundé, there's just options galore. They're just expensive. But the last three I've gone for are actually Prem players. And I think some of these might surprise you a little bit. I'm sure there's one player on there that won't surprise you at all. But one player that might surprise you is Ruben Diaz. Now, I know he's 89 rated. He sat at 27,000 coins. I think Ruben Diaz is criminally underrated in this game. Ruben Diaz is very good. The pace isn't great looking at those stats, but I don't notice him being a huge problem. The agility and balance, again, I don't notice that being an issue. 89 reactions, great. Good bit of composure as well. Those defending stats are through the roof, and those physicality stats are through the roof as well. Realistically, if that stamina is a little bit higher, you're looking at nearly a 90 physical stat. It really is impressive, this card. He's so good. And I think a lot of people just see that he's slow and go, he's fodder. I'm fine with people keeping this at fodder price, because if at any point down the line I need to make some changes, I would happily bring Ruben Diaz into my team. Some playstyles on him as well that mean he's very good in the air. Plus, he does have the Bruiser Plus, which is always very helpful, again, because I just think the lack of pace is made up for with this. The new sort of X tackling, so X used to sort of just like follow the player. You could just hold X and they would just jockey and follow the player, whereas now X kind of like does like shoulder barging and stuff, and he's so good with that because of the Bruiser Plus. He just is super physical, great strength, good aggression to all help with that as well. And I think Ruben Diaz is a player that a lot of people overlook for sure. But going into a card now that I think everyone looks at when they're looking to build a Prem team and they're looking to build Prem defenders, and that is the most expensive player on this list, Varane. Now, these last two, as I say, are the two centre-backs I use. Varane is 92,000 coins at the time of recording. I'll tell you guys this now. I absolutely love this card, but 99 times out of 100, he comes off in the 60th minute for me. His stamina is the only thing that holds this card back. Agility and balance being like 39 is not great. But again, I don't actually notice it being a huge problem. Nice and quick, good versatility, and has, again, in my opinion, the most important for me, Playstyle Plus, which is Anticipate Plus. It really is huge. I just find it so impactful. The amount of times in the game that the little badge pops up, it just shows how often it comes into effect for him. He's so good. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't notice him doing loads offensively in the air, but I do notice him defensively getting the job done with headers and winning from corners and set pieces and stuff. But really do love Varane. I would say he's not as good as previous FIFAs, despite being slightly higher rated than the last couple of years. I would say he was more OP in FIFA 23 than he is this year, but he's still very good. And as I say, he's in my team and I love him. But my personal favourite centre-back this year, and this might surprise a few people that don't watch the streams and don't hear me say this every other day, is Saliba. I think Saliba is so good this year. He sat at 50,000 coins, which does indicate other people like him too. But Saliba is just an absolute machine, boys. Playstyles, he's kind of got similar-ish things to everyone else. Again, I would say I don't necessarily notice offensively the power header playstyle personally. Again, that could be that I just don't end up using it with him a lot. But Anticipate, I think, again, just goes so far for me. Absolutely love this card. He just gets the job done. The amount of times I've been pulled out of a stinky bit of defensive play from myself because, as I say, I'm not the best at the game. I'll happily hold my hands up and admit that. But Saliba saves me time and time again and just does the job, pulls me out of a stinky bit of defense. And I have to say, for me personally, head and shoulders above Varane. I love Varane, and that Anticipate Plus is so clutch. But Saliba for me is just a better card. I really do think he is. But those are my personal 11 favourite centre-backs in the game. If there's any players you think I've missed or you prefer, let me know down in the comments, because again, These are just my opinions, and it's helpful to have as many opinions as possible if people are coming to this to potentially find their potential best centre-backs or people to look at. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video. Helps me, the video, the channel out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to check us out on our live streams, Hursty Games over on Twitch, link down below, along with our TikTok and our Twitter. Go show them some love. It's super appreciated. But for now, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you very soon. Look after yourselves and, of course, wash your hands. Take care.